Hey, my name is Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. This is Wednesday Night Live. We always get together Wednesday night and we draw a portrait together. We go step by step. And if you don't want to be, if you want to be part of our group, I would say join our Facebook group. It's a great community of people where, man, I'll tell you, we're really looking out for each other there. I'm going to put a link for that in the description, in the comments of this video by the time we're done. And I say if you're looking for a home with some great artists who are all trying to learn and get better, then that's the place to be. With that being said, if you are watching this, do me a big favor. Give the video a like. Give me a comment of something. Tell me some first aid tricks for a burnt pinky. That would be awesome. Yes, I did burn my pinky tonight while cleaning the kitchen, but here we are, right? We're here as a family. So let's get into this. Okay, let me see. Let me just shove this camera this way a little bit. There you go. All right. And get my reference photo. Okay, let's do this here. So, one thing I would just recommend that when you go to draw kids or teenagers, she's like a young teen, I would say. You kind of, to keep them youthful looking, you want to kind of avoid the bridge of the nose just a little bit. As soon as you drop that in, it really ages them quite a bit. So we're going to try and just give a hint of that. So we'll start there. Anyways, okay, let's go ahead and get going. I'm going to start with a nice light sphere. Tonight I'm drawing this traditionally. What I really love to draw with is actually a Crayola pencil. It's inexpensive and it has a great lead. I really like it. I've always liked Crayola pencils for the leads, and I think they just do bang up job. Okay, here very lightly. We got our little sphere going here. Let's come down here and get the angle. Now it's not the angle of her brow line is not going to be straight across. It's slightly angled. So let's just kind of come just above halfway there and drop that down like that. And this is a 3/4 view, but it's not extreme 3/4. So, and it's not dead center. So we're going to come in maybe right here. So I just put a little mark there. Now don't give me my traditional T. What we're going to do is just kind of come down here and kind of take your pencil, go straight down from there, and just very lightly give just a little bit of a shade, just like this. So that's going to be our nose. So let's leave that just right where it's at, and then come down a little bit further, and we're gonna come maybe right about here, and I'm just gonna put a little line there, a little line, so I know where that mouth is gonna go. So you kind of drawing these kids like this, you gotta kind of make sure that you're drawing lightly, all right? And this is my center line here. So based upon my center line, I'm going to maybe like the side of her head is going to be over here. So I'm just going to very lightly just pop in a straight line. That way I can come back a little bit later and make a little bit more adjustments. All right, let's come over here and kind of establish where her temple is. I think her temple is going to be right about, and I'm looking at right about here maybe, okay? So we'll put just a light mark right there. And you can see from her temple to her hair is not that far. So I'm gonna just put this here and then maybe put just a little mark right there. The other thing too with people drawing young kids, there's so few wrinkles in their face, so you have to be like very careful of the lines that you put. But we know that this is going to be her brow line. We got that. So let's let's just come in here and just put a line on either side for her eyes. And I can already tell you right now that I've really scrunched her face already. Probably this brow line is where her eyes should have gone, but that's my mistake. And I'm just going to roll with it because Crayola pencils, as much as I like them, are made mostly of wax. So you don't get the luxury of erasing anything. So we'll just go with that. It'll be more illustrative. The other thing too, and this is good that I'm looking at this now, is her nose, her mouth is not directly, her mouth is to this side of her nose, and I have mine maybe shifted a little bit to the right. So I'm gonna just kind of extend this over just a bit. What else can we do on this? All right, so what I'm going to do now is very lightly, I'm holding my pencil. I'm going to do a contour of the outline of her hair. So let's see. I'm just going to very lightly use straight lines. There's something about, I'll curve the lines later on, but all right, I'm just kind of blocking these things in. Remember, we're gonna build this. We're gonna build this up here. Okay, so this is maybe the edge. Let's see. There's that. That might be the edge of her hair there. There's her. There is her mouth, and then her chin will just. It's also gonna shift a little bit in this direction. All right, we'll bring these cheeks down like this. Coming over here. Bring that cheek in maybe like that. So already we can see it's starting to come together just with a couple lines. Okay, so her hair is dynamite. So let's not lose. Let's also block that in. So this is the corner of her eye here. It's actually over here, and I'm just gonna come out here and put a little mark. And she's got this curl there, and then it's gonna come all the way down. And I'm visually looking at where this hair is down below. All right, so we're drawing the contour of the hair. Getting the contour here. All right, looking for the shapes, holding my pencil very lightly, because we're going to come back in with darker colors a little bit later. Okay, now I can see that her ear, look at that, ear is showing up, and it's kind of lining up at the bottom of her. Ear's lining up at the bottom of her nose. And then that's her ear, so look at this neck is gonna pop up right about there. So let's come over here and get the other neck. And where's that? Look, where does that line up? That's like right underneath this. Probably a little bit more. Okay, just something like that maybe. Keeping it light. That's the ticket. Okay, let's see now. Let's get the bottom of her hair over here. And if I use I have 4 tools of proportion. That's things that you will use in order to get your proportion all tightened up. So you can use vertical alignments, horizontal alignments. You check negative space. You compare negative space to your drawing to the picture. And the last thing you have is a cartoon check where you look at the picture, look at your drawing, look at the picture, look at your drawing. So I always use those elements. So the bottom of her hair is lined up like right underneath her mouth. You see that? So we'll come over here And I'm kind of looking at her ear. I'm looking at this negative space, and I'm just using some straight lines to block this in her hair here just a bit. Okay. Now before we start jumping right into all the detail, because that's gonna really win this thing over here, let's get this hat in. So whenever I draw hats, the first thing I do is I ignore the brim and I look for the cap part. So let's see here now. If this is going to be her brow line, and then the cap is going to be up here. So let's see here. If I was to draw a cap here, it's going to come down here to the eye. I'm looking across here, and this is going to be her hair. It's going to kind of come over here, I think. And there's this bit of an angle here, so this is going to be an angle. So this is the top of her brim per se. So I'm really kind of looking at this negative space there. I think that looks pretty good. Now I'm turning to look at the camera because on this screen where the camera is, I could see my drawing in the photo. And so what I'm doing is I'm using the cartoon check. I'm looking at the photo, looking at my picture, and right away, if I jump back and forth, if that is that, I think I'm probably a little too big on it. I'm going to come down just a little bit. Okay, that's what I'm going to do, like that. Okay, so there's my rough cap that's going on her head. Now let's get the brim next. So how do we do that? Well, you're going to kind of plot. You're going to plot where the brim hits the hair on one side, the top part of the brim, and where it hits on the other side. So if I come in my picture here, the brim is going to come in just maybe right about there. You see that? Right about there. And then it's going to come out, and I'm kind of looking at this negative space here. So I'm just going to put a little mark right there. And then it's going to come all the way up here. Maybe, where is that high point? Just maybe it's right there. You see that? Maybe it's right there. And it's going to come down. Okay, got that. It's going to come down here. Let's see if this is the edge of her hair. So it's going to kind of hit in here and right down at her nose. So let's see here. It's going to, okay, I think I'm ready. So I'm just going to quickly draw a line here coming around like this, making sure I hit all those points, and that's it. So not bad. I probably could have like elongated it just a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'll kind of expand this head, just hat part here, just a little bit. All right, I think that's going to work. So here, what we've just done is we kind of went through our drawing, made some very light adjustments. So we have everything in place now. And if you're going to erase something, this is the time to do it. Now, I've already said that I've put my eyes too close to the bottom of my nose, but I think it's going to work fine. So let's go ahead and jump right into the nose here. Now, we're going to draw every element as we go across. So let's look at the nose. Now, the nose is 3/4. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start with there's the ball of the nose. Now, I'm going to still kind of add the construction. So it's going to kind of come in that way. And then this is going to be a little bit more straight there, just like that, you see? And I'm going to add a little tone on the tip right there. Okay. On this right side, we're going to have the nostril, and it's like this septum right here is in front of it. So we're going to come in here just like this, I think. So we just see a little bit there. Now this, I'm going to make sure that the opening over here, this nostril is much bigger because we see this one in plain view. And it's like almost like a comma, you know, now that I think of it, it's like a comma, you know, but only this is, it's on its side, something like that. All right, then we're gonna come down here with the wing. Look closely at your wing. Try and get the general shape of it. And then I'm going to add a little bit of value underneath here. And there you go. That's it. That is, we're going to be very careful not to overdo her nose. And your basic nose, you know, your basic nose is going to be like it's going to be the ball of the nose like this. And then, you know, this side you're going to have a little bit of the nostrils showing. But then on this side, you know, this is where because this is the angle, this is the, you know, this is more of an adult nose. Okay, that's basically it. Okay, let's continue. So now we're gonna follow very carefully. This is the septum, but we want to just slightly. Usually when we draw lips, we draw the V of the lip. Now this V is not exactly underneath her nose. It's slightly off center. So you want to do that to help further the idea that we're looking 3/4. So I'm going to just shift that over ever so slightly. So there's my V. And then, you know, she definitely has a slight smile. So let's get the corners now. Now this is, where are the corners of her mouth in relationship to her wings of her nose? Let's just kind of come in here, and also in relationship to the V, the center V there. So we'll put maybe one right there. I'm going to just kind of lightly mark that. And now this one's going to be further out and away, just like that. And you know when kids like draw smiles like this, and we do this sort of thing like that? Well, you could kind of see that happening in her. So what we want to do up here is just give me a little bit of, just a little light value, not much, just a little bit. All right. All right, one. And this one's going to be shorter now because it's 3/4. Whew. Boy, did I get that too close to the nose there. Oh boy. You know, every portrait I do, always there's issues with them. But you know, I figure is that you just kind of keep on going, right? And that's the same thing what you should do is don't just keep moving forward. That is the only way to get better at this stuff. It's not going to happen overnight. Look, the corners of her lips, I'm darkening in the corners there, just like that. Now, in the middle of that lip, right here, this little part right there, look at that. Look how defined that is. It's like a second V right there. Look at that. Okay, and then I'm gonna keep this really clean here. So I'm just gonna really concentrate more on the shadow, more of the shadow underneath her lips. You see? With kids, the less we put, the better. All right. Let's keep going. This is coming along nicely here. All right, there's my wing. Now use a vertical line so we could come up here, and we're gonna put a little dot for. And I'm lining up the tear ducts of the eye. So the outside edge of this, I'm going to come up here and maybe put a little dot right there. And then the other side, now I'm looking at that. Now, even this it's to the other tear duct is going to be a little bit on the inside as well. And you want to make sure that these things are almost parallel. So I'm going to come in maybe just like this. Okay, we could kind of take this distance and get a pretty good idea of how wide the eyes are going to be. So let's come over here. Now again, do this lightly. 1, 2, 3. And let's do the other side as well. This is going to be, let's see, 1, 2, 3. How does that look? Let me just jump over here. That's not too bad. Right away I could see that this is more symmetrical, and I probably should shift it a little bit. So look, all I'm just going to do is draw right on top of my line to make that small adjustment. And then when we come in with some of the tone, I think it's going to help a bit. All right, let's get these. Now, let's draw the pupils. Pupils usually line up right with the corners of the mouth, but I do want you to notice it's not perfectly round. It's hanging from the top lid, and it's flat on the bottom because that lower eyelid is covering it. So when I come in here with my pupil now, I'm gonna come in like this. I'm gonna draw a straight line and then come in like that. I'm going to jump to the other side, really kind of looking at the corner here, that negative space in here. Let's see here, we're going to do this, kind of taking a look. That looks pretty good, and it's going to have a flat side here, and then we're going to get the other side just like that. How's that look? Oh, that looks pretty good. Okay, get a little more light down here. Okay, look at the underneath her eyes now. Look at that, right at the bottom of her pupil. There's a little bit of skin that catches light. In fact, let me show you. Can I show this to you? No, I can't. It's all right. But it's right underneath this eye here. So what I'm going to do is just come in just a little bit. Now she's young. She's so she doesn't have a lot of a shadow underneath her eyes. But you see what I just did, and I left just a thin hair of light there. Same thing on this side. I'm just gonna come in here. All right, looks pretty good. And then I'm gonna add one more here, just like that. All right, she's got her, look at those highlights. The highlights are gonna be winter here. So I'm gonna kind of come in and I'm holding back going dark yet. I want to get kind of get those values set in here. And then the same thing over here. Get those highlights toward the higher part of her eye too. You know, as long as we're here right now, let me just tell you, let you kind of get caught up there. We have a great class. I have a great class. It's called the Daily Draw. I wonder if I have a little logo of it here. No. Okay. Have the Daily Draw. What's the Daily Draw? It is a membership class I have. It's only $10 a month, and we get together every single day, 30 minutes a day, Monday through Friday, all month long, and it's just ongoing. So if you think about this, boy, if you did 3 months with the Daily Draw, that would be less than $30. And I bet you, if you stuck with me for 3 months, I could do wonders for you. So if you are stuck and you're trying to really create the habit of drawing, then sign up for the Daily Draw. I'll put that, let me see here. I think if I do this and turn, let's see here. Is it this there? Nope. If I turn this off for a second and turn the timer off, and maybe not. I thought I had it here. Live draw. Nope. Okay. Never mind. I was going to show you the logo of it. But anyways, I will put a link for that also in the comments if you're interested. But I'll tell you, if you really want to give your drawing skills a good kick in the rear end and kind of get going, then Daily Draw would be perfect. It's, you know, I designed it for myself. When I was younger, I had a real hard time of staying motivated, staying focused, and so I thought, wow, if I had the Daily Draw, that would have helped me tremendously in the early years. Okay, so while I was talking, I just quickly kind of dropped in the overall shadow around her eyes here. Let's go ahead and now that we have that, let's kind of put in these eyebrows, and don't go too dark on them. Just kind of get them in here. Yeah, so that's the daily draw. And then this one here, let's see, we're going to come like this, and it gets just a little bit here. Yeah, I've definitely squashed her face. Okay, then right above her, look at this, right above her eyelids here, she has that dark shadow of the upper eyelids. So let's not be afraid of that here. So we're going to come in like this. And then I'm going to come in real dark here and get these eyelashes. Just like that. Nothing fancy. If I look at the picture, I can see that the lower eyelid is coming underneath. I'm just putting a little mark there. And now I'm going all in with this pupil. Going all in, and you can even, I think I'm going to add just a little bit darker eyebrow there, just a little bit. Other thing is, I noticed that the whites of her eyes, so I'm going to add just a little bit of a tone for the whites of her eye here. Okay, jumping over here. Let's do the same thing. So first thing we're going to do is draw the line above the crease, so it's like coming in here like this. I'm going across like this. Then I'm going to get this eyelash, and look at this, it's really dark here. It's thick. I don't even draw eyelashes. I just thicken my line just a bit. All right, time to get this pupil in. This time I didn't let me show you what I did here. Let me well, I didn't go like if this was my pupil here, and I have my little highlight. What I did was I kind of went in with a overall tone here like this, and then I just pumped in really kind of around that eyelid. See? So you get this beautiful, like it's a little bit lighter here than darker up there. You see that? All right, let's get this other eyebrow in place. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to really pop the corners here. These corners, this line here that separates her upper and lower lip. I want to really get that in solid. Okay, let's go ahead and get the side of her face now. Now that we've got this going, I'm going to start right here. This is like the temple, and I'm still kind of working lightly. I want to make sure I get the shape of her face right, and her cheeks coming down here. So cheeks are shifted down a little bit low, so and her chin is coming in just a little bit like this. All right, we got nice round cheeks over here, right? Okay. And I'm gonna just add not much. I mean, just very light tone, not much. I don't want a lot, because I really don't want to add a lot of I mean, she was riding her bike here, right? So she's maybe, and it looks like it's a little cold outside because she's all dressed up. Okay, great. Look at that. Okay, let's come up here now and get these curls here. So when I'm drawing curls, what I like to do is I want to start with the outside, and then I go to the inside, and then I usually will come up here like this, you see? See how I did that? So like if I look at the picture here, I'll come down just like that, and then I'll come up, and then you see this as one unit here, And then underneath you can kind of can change the direction, right? So let's see how we do with that. All right, so we got that going there, and there, nice little curve like that. Look at that. Down here, look at this. This is this beautiful S curve. You see that coming right around here? Let's see. Just push, pull it around just like that. Then we get a little bit here. Thick, bring it in close, thick. See that? Close. And as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm just drawing lightly right now. Okay, I'm gonna get some down here. And then coming down here. Let's come to the other side here now. See, we're building this up slowly. Look, you've got this. Here's her earlobe here. Let's drop a little tone on that. And then this, look at this curl here is like this. It's like a cylinder almost right in here, you see? Got another curl here. And then here, this is a good curl back here. Look at this. This is going to be, just do the outside first. Outside first. Then do that. And then come up here and get that, just like that. And a small curl. This one's hitting the wind there. Okay. All right, let's come in here now. I'm going to go ahead and most of her hair is going to have this darker tone. So I'm just going to come in here and block this in with an overall shade of value. Okay, I see something we forgot to do. Look, where does, this is her brim, but where does it come in connection to her hat here, right? So we gotta, okay, and this, look at this, this has got to be lighter than this up top there. So let's kind of come in here also with an overall tone, but make sure that I don't put any value on that brim. All right, then we've got the little band here. Okay, so now what's left? Now it's laborious. Now we're to the point now where now it just requires sitting here, putting on some music and start like really punching in punching in these darker values for her hair. That looks kind of weird. Look at that. Let's see, I think that's probably too close there, but let me just drop a tone here. So this looks like I've drawn her neck way too large here. We'll have to make that adjustment, but there you go. That should definitely set you down the right path, I hope. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Definitely give the video a thumbs up and join the daily draw. And if you can't do that, then at least join our Facebook group. And like I said, I'll put links for both of those in the comments. Thanks for watching, everyone. It's always great to spend the evening with you. I hope you learned something. My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. Now go out there and make your